Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. Great to be here with you today. Excited to get into our questions of the week. Our community each and every week tunes in on the weekends to listen to about 12 questions from our community where I answer all things wellness, weight loss, anti-aging, sometimes questions from our integrative health practitioners and questions that they may have, maybe even in regards to themselves or their private wellness clients too. So really we have such an amazing community. I mean, I talk about this all the time with my team privately, always just saying like, it's just so amazing that we started out with less than 99 people in our Facebook group, because I know it was like, hey, we're going to start with 100 people in the group. It's going to be great. And now we're at over 12,000, right? So it's like, and it's all word of mouth. It is just all word of mouth. So again, I appreciate you for simply sharing the show when you feel it's appropriate for other people, meaning like it's a topic that they might consider listening to. And word of mouth and referrals is always the best way to grow. So love the community, really appreciate you and appreciate the reviews of the podcast. I really do. I read every single one. So again, once again, appreciate you. Thank you. All right, let's dive into the show. Today's first question is going to be from, let's see here, MacKenzie. MacKenzie says, I don't have a lot of money, but I'm trying to eliminate toxins from my life. Other than food and skincare and makeup, what are the most important things? It gets hard to afford EMF blockers, organic sheets, mattresses, etc. It starts to add up. MacKenzie, totally understand where you're coming from because, again, for me, it doesn't seem like that long ago. Like when I was 17, it's going back a little bit, but it doesn't seem like that long ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. So I'm with my mom in the doctor's office. And actually, that didn't happen until 19. So I was going to conventional medicine for 2 years. Finally, we learned about this thing called natural health, natural medicine. Started seeing some practitioners. This one practitioner, this one doctor, Dr. Gordon, always be thankful to him. He was amazing. He was the first intro to natural health. And so there was lab testing, there was supplements to take, there was new foods to eat. Like this was brand new for my family because although I have amazing parents, nobody taught them about natural health, just like nobody was talking about that in Medford, Massachusetts with anybody. Like that's just wasn't the case. We did what all kids do. We drank Kool-Aid, we ate hot dogs, we ate Fruity Pebbles in the morning. It's the way that it was. Had some Pop-Tarts, had some Ilio's pizza. Like that was it. We loved it. We enjoyed it. Well, lo and behold, years later, along with stress, along with the antibiotics and all sorts of things, the body breaks down, right? So anyway, I totally get it. And I couldn't do everything at once either, right? I went to college. I was trying to pay for books. I was trying to go with my friends. Couldn't do a million things. So what I did was I kept it simple. I had a gym membership that was $10 a month. I had, and now you can still find gyms that are literally $20 a month. So that doesn't have to be overwhelming. And then I took nutritional supplements. I saved up for labs. And I know that we did a couple labs like every 6 months. So that's what I did. And that's all I spent my money on. Looking back on it, in addition to the good nutritional supplements, which by the way, can basically be like the cost of food. So for example, you want to eliminate toxins. If you did a functional medicine detox, even if it was just a 7-day, it wouldn't cost you more than a week worth of food. Because the first 2 days of meals are all covered by your 4 shakes each day. Then every breakfast is covered by your shake. Mid-afternoon's covered with a shake. So like you're buying lunches and dinners like you normally would for days 3 through 7. So that's probably not going to be super expensive. And then after that, you might literally just do the daily nutritional support. Like maybe that's all you do. Well, now at least all your vitamins and minerals are covered, right? Get 15 grams of protein. That could replace your breakfast. Just add some fruit to it. Good. I mean, that's an inexpensive breakfast, right? $2, $3 for breakfast. That's pretty inexpensive. I mean, a box of cereal is probably going to be $2 per serving, honestly, right? So that's that. So the one other thing I would add to that is a water filter. So you have to always think about the things that you do the most. All right. I get asked this a lot. So whatever you do the most means you could influence the most positively or negatively. People drink water. you should get a good quality water filter. Head on over to stevencabral.com/resources. Check out all the different water filters I have as options there. It's a good first place to start. All right, Andrea's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I just wanted to ask about yellow palms. I've had very yellow tinged hands for many years and have researched many different potential causes such as carotenaemia or jaundice. I do eat a lot of orange vegetables in my diet, but I'm unsure if this is really the answer. I want to get your perspective of what could cause the yellowness and to look around for what to do. Thank you very much. All right, so let me just see if I'm just going to type this literally into stevencabral.com/podcast. I don't always know that it will pop up because sometimes people write it in different ways, right? So that's kind of like what we're looking at. Let me see if I can just find this for you real quick. I'm just going to type in yellow hands. Sometimes yellow eyes shows up as well. And I'll give you the answer in just 1 second. So it looks like on episode 1100, I spoke about it, okay? So you can go back, check out 1100 for just extra perspective. But really what I want to share with you is what I've seen work in my practice. So I'm not here to diagnose you with anything, give you any medical treatment plans, but you really do want to look at, is there something going on with the liver? Okay. Typically when you run your blood work with your doctor, they're going to run a CBC. They're going to run a lipid panel for your cholesterol. They're going to run your ALT, AST, which are basically liver enzymes. You want to make sure those are okay. Really important. You want to make sure your BUN, your creatinine are all okay. Make sure those are okay. So if you haven't gone to your doctor yet, go to your doctor, run a full panel. Okay? Just let them know. Here's what's going on. Could be my liver. I want to run ask for your CBC, your complete blood count. Ask for your lipid panel. Ask for your blood chemistry. Make sure that they include the AST, ALT on that, okay? Now, they probably will. So good. Make sure that nothing is drastically wrong. Now, if there's not, what else could be going on with the liver? Now, again, I can't give you medical recommendations, especially if there's something going on with the liver, but a lot of people would then go to do a functional medicine detox, which helps to open up liver pathways. Now, if you're given the all clear from your doctor, and nothing's wrong, you may want to look into something like a functional medicine detox, which is going to help open up those liver detox pathways. Make sure there's no constipation. Siri always scares me when she literally pops up. It's the wildest thing. Even though Bluetooth is off and airplane mode is on, just keep in mind, Big Brother is always listening. So you have to be careful what you say. But that's an aside, a little aside here for our podcast listeners. So what I want to share with you though, is just making sure the liver pathways are open. So that's a big one. Make sure there's no constipation. And also, you could do what's called a castor oil pack. Since I don't have the time to explain all of that today, I want you to go to stevencabral.com/podcast and type in castor oil or castor oil pack. And I explain exactly how to do that. And you'll place that castor oil soaked flannel with a heat pack right over the liver. All right, Andrea, good place to get started. Kenzie's up next. Do I need to worry about reinfecting myself with H. pylori by kissing my boyfriend during treatment? Well, Kenzie, H. pylori, Helicobacter pylori, is actually quite contagious. And each partner could infect the other person through saliva. So that's absolutely possible, which is why a lot of couples do the protocol together. So that's a big part of it. They might be doing the CBO protocol plus the extramastic gum. So I don't know kind of, what protocols you're following, but typically both people are doing it at the same time so that there's no real worries. All right. So Kenzie, hopefully that's helpful. Rita's up next. Hi, during the detox, can I increase fluid intake as per my weight or just stick to the 20 ounces you suggest? Can a diabetic do this? Thanks. Okay, let's answer the latter first, and then we'll go to the former question. Can a diabetic do a functional medicine detox? Well, type 1 is different than a type 2. However, if someone's on insulin, they can still do it, but they're going to have to watch their insulin, right? Because they're going to need far less insulin because they're not eating anything that would spike blood sugar. That's one of the hallmarks of a good quality functional medicine detox, like the Equilife detox. So typically, we would say, no, a type 1 diabetic can't do it, or they should start with days 3 through 7, unless they're really proficient at being able to balance their blood sugar. really important, right? Because you can't go too low, that's for sure, right? Really not, it's not a good thing, of course. So, but a type 2, many type 2 diabetics do the functional medicine detox. I can't say that it's the right thing to do for you because I'd be giving medical advice because diabetes is a disease. So I can't give you that suggestion. Now, your first question was, can you increase fluid on a detox? And the answer is absolutely. Go by your thirst though. Don't overhydrate yourself because you feel like you should be drinking a certain amount of water. You're taking in 20 ounces of water for the 4 times a day for the first 2 days. That's 80 ounces of water. That's 10 glasses of water. That's going to be enough for most people. Could you do more? You could. If your body's telling you to drink more, you can drink more. No doubt about it. You might need some electrolytes in there, a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of lime, squeezed lime or lemon for some potassium and sodium. Now, on days 3 through 7, where you're just doing 2 shakes with 20 ounces, that's 40 ounces. If we divide by 8, what's the math on that? 5? That's 5 glasses of water. And so that means, yes, you'll need more water on those days for sure. All right, Rita? Good question. Megan's up. Hey, Dr. C, thanks for everything you do. I'm currently pregnant with my second baby, and my first suffered from quite a bit of silent reflux. It was quite fussy and a terrible sleeper. I'm not wondering what I can do during my pregnancy to reduce the chances of this next baby having reflux. I believe you previously mentioned a strain of probiotic, which I think was Reuteri, to help with reflux. If so, I see this is in the daily probiotic support by Equilife. Would this be enough to help it if taken throughout pregnancy and breastfeeding? Can you help share some tips of what I can do proactively to help give me the best shot at having a healthy and reflux-free baby? Thanks so much in advance. Yeah, I mean, you basically, you already answered the question because you're too smart. That's really it. You know, you did the homework, you figured it out. Most women, you want to make sure before you get pregnant, in an ideal world, that your gut's balanced. You run the Candida metabolic vitamins test, you run the bacteria and parasite stool test, and if possible, you're running the whole big 5. And then you're clearing up whatever needs to be cleared up. You rebalance your microbiome. And then during pregnancy, you're taking the daily probiotic support. And if there's a little extra candida, yeast infections, etc., then you might take the clean gut probiotic for a bottle. No problem at all. Okay. So yes, I mean, that's basically, again, I can't give you medical advice. Believe it or not, pregnancy is considered it's not considered a disease, but it's considered a specialized population that you can't give medical advice to. So I'm not giving medical advice. But if it was my wife, yes, she's taking the daily probiotic support. And also making sure that there's no candida overgrowth, because if the child swallows a lot of bad bacteria during a vaginal-based birth, or candida as in yeast, then that can cause reflux as well. So kind of both, right? That's what I would recommend. So don't go on a high, sugary diet while pregnant. I know that's kind of we don't like to talk too much about eating good, healthy nutrition during pregnancy, but I think it is very important for your own gut microbiome as well, and the babies too. So eat healthy, move your body, smile, enjoy life, take your good nutritional supplements, and I think you're going to do great. And then if your baby does have silent reflux, now you know what to do as well, right? It's always nice to know what you should do too. All right, one more question from our friend Pedro. Pedro says, hey, Dr. Cabral, first and foremost, thank you very much for dedicating so much of your time to help people around the world. I know you probably get a lot of these messages, so you might be used to it, but truly take a moment to acknowledge yourself. You've changed lives. Thank you, Pedro. I mean, really, again, I take none of this for granted. I mean, I get to live my dream job doing what I was so appreciative that other people had done for me. So every time, I don't always acknowledge it because I'm very weird and strange with compliments, but I appreciate it. And every single time someone starts a question and gives a compliment or something like that, don't think that I didn't read it. I'm just weird like that, but I truly appreciate you. I really do. I mean, this means the world to me. I get to do what I love every day. I do a lot of it because I really love it. But thank you, Pedro. All right. Pedro says, my question is regarding dairy. I know that you prefer organic raw milk, but you're still not a huge fan of it given the size of the protein. How come in Ayurveda they had so much dairy? I know that in their times it would have been raw, but isn't it still inflammatory? Great question, Pedro. Okay. So it's a very good question. You have to think about it in a few different ways. Well, let's break it down to its essence. Food availability back then was not going to be the same. I mean, they were eating a lot of grains. They were eating a lot of dairy. They were eating a lot of inexpensive foods, even to this day. But, and I want to make a note of this, they weren't downing glasses of milk, okay? They were actually having the dairy for the most part, yeah, sometimes as raw milk, but they were making quark, which is like a light, very thin yogurt. It was served in all the Ayurvedic clinics, the nicer Ayurvedic clinics that could afford milk. I was at some that couldn't afford it. And so it was fermented, so it had some good healthy bacteria, and it was raw. So there was some good nutrition in it. Or they would have it as kefir. And kefir would be used, again, as a probiotic, digestive-based aid, and a prebiotic for the gut. Now, having said that, I think it was used a little less often than you think. Because, again, when I'm over in India, we're not having dairy at lunch. We're not having dairy at dinner. There isn't a lot of cheese eaten. There is a little dairy in milk, in the tea, no doubt about it, but it's small. And raw milk is not really as inflammatory as its counterpart, and their raw milk is not organic. Raw milk should not necessarily be organic. It should be pastured. You can't qualify something as organic if it's just naturally pastured. If a cow is out grazing in the fields and it's eating whatever they want, bugs, grubs, worms, grass, weeds, they're not organic grass, right? It's just grass, right? That's what it is. So they're eating as a cow is meant to eat. They're eating omega-3s from the earth that then are less inflammatory than their counterpart cows that are fed corn, Skittles, and I know I did not make a mistake in saying Skittles. You can check that out. Soy, antibiotics, and much more, right? So I wouldn't say that raw milk is necessarily inflammatory. I would not say that. But what I would say is that as you move later in life, it is an anabolic food, so that means it would be better for Vata-based types and less for Kapha types. So, for example, we would never give dairy to a Kapha type because we know dairy is more mucus producing, it's more cold, it's more wet, right? So you wouldn't do that. Now, you might say, well, if you really study this, goat's milk is more heating for the body. And I would say you're correct, right? So there's variations of this. The bottom line is this. Dairy, like saturated fat, is contentious. That means there's pros to it, but there's also cons to it. So whenever there's pros and whenever there's cons, you hedge your bets. You just don't need to do a lot of it. That's it, right? You don't need to do a lot of it. Stick to the things where it's basically like 90% pros, right? Avocados, olives, olive oil, those healthy fats, right? Don't go overboard with some where there's pros and cons, because if you don't know for your body, you haven't really looked inside for the omega-3 testing, et cetera, then you have to hedge your bets on making the right choice no matter what, right? So hopefully that's helpful. It's a complicated topic. I'm happy to talk more about it, no doubt about it. So keep the questions coming. Great questions this weekend. As always, I appreciate your comments, your compliments, your reviews, your subscribes to the podcast. Thank you so much. Again, it does mean the world to me. And tomorrow, I'll be back with our Motivation and Mindset Monday. Take care, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. Thank you so much for tuning into today's show. And you know that what I love to do on a weekly basis is to see if we can come up with some new opportunities for you to be able to save while at the same time get the very best functional medicine-based products in the world. And I mean that all of these products are third-party tested. They are made in the United States and they come from the very best ingredients. And this week, what we have for you is the opportunity, the ability to get 2 bags of the daily fruit and vegetable blends. So our very best 22 organic fruits and vegetables that have been literally juiced and dehydrated and put in their purest form right in this bag for you from 22 organic fruits and vegetables and superfoods. And you get that in their brand new containers, a low waste based bag. People have loved the daily nutritional support bags so much that we wanted to do the same for the daily fruit and vegetable blend. So now you can get these nice low waste based bags, easy to travel with. Plus, we're giving you a completely free eco glass container. That means that you get this glass container with beautiful etching on it of the EcoLife logos of the two circles coming together to form dynamic equilibrium, balance, unity. You get that with its bamboo airtight cover, so totally sustainable, eco-friendly, looks great on your countertop. Purchase 2 daily fruit and vegetable blends. Remember, 22 organic fruits and vegetables, a rainbow of colors. There's no way that you could eat all of this in a day. All of these different colors, all of these different fruits and vegetables and superfoods. You get 2 bags, and what we do is we ship you a glass eco canister completely free to put that right on your counter so that you know it's there each and every day to keep your healthy regimen going. For this great offer, head on over to equi.life. That's eco.life for this exclusive offer. Take care, everyone.